Hello, time for another video, I think. So my theme for this week is records on a budget. We know it can be an expensive pastime, collecting records, particularly original records. So one of the big secrets is don't collect original records. Well, you can collect re-editions, but you can collect compilations as well. And when I was first getting into records, compilations were my education. That was before the internet and a lot of other stuff. So a record like this, the Young Soul Rebels soundtrack, was a real education, because this was the first record where I heard Roy Ayers, the Blackbirds, who else got here, OJ's, War, Funkadelic, Parliament, all on this record. This is actually the soundtrack to a film which came out in the early 90s. A film that I don't think has aged very well, but it was kind of funny at the time. I seem to remember watching it on TV one night when I was a bit younger. But yeah, nice compilation. I mean, it's a single volume compilation. Doesn't sound great, but some great tunes. And as an introduction, that was fantastic for me. So all the compilations I want to show are all single volume compilations, and they're not necessarily very high quality. There are a lot of great labels like BBE and Soul Jazz who do fantastic compilations, normally on double vinyl, with great soul, funk, Latin, jazz, going off to all sorts of different little subgenres and things like that. But I'm just going to show soul and funk compilations on single volumes, most of which probably came out in the 1990s, maybe into the 2000s a bit. But they're all quite cheap and affordable, and they do turn up in record shops a lot. And there's some really good stuff on these compilations, which quite often, if you wanted to get originals, would be very expensive. Here's a nice example. This is a German series. There's 2 volumes. Ghetto Soul, it's called. Looks a bit trashy, and I don't know how legit they are, but you've got things like the Silvers, Harry Ray, Bobby Houston, the Vibrations, Shake It Up, lovely. Eddie, Make It Last, rare groove classic. After Midnight by Charm, it's the B-side to Willie Lindo. If you know that one, you know what you're talking about. Really fantastic. Volume 2 is pretty decent as well. Brothers by Choice, 1619 Badass Band. Great stuff on there. These are nice compilations. Very easy to get, very affordable. Here's a great compilation which doesn't look like a soul compilation at all. Came out in 1988. Kind of futuristic cover work they were going for this time. It's called Time Is Right, and you could very easily pass this over without paying it any attention, as I did many times before realizing that it's got some great tracks on this. Melba Moore, Hard Not to Like You, In the Mood, Tyrone Davis, Ned Doheny, To Prove My Love, there's a nice one for you, Al Johnson, In the Mood for Love. But 2 real sought after numbers here, which are very difficult to get on any form, and here they both are on this compilation, is Universal Love by the Woods Empire, really nice sort of slow disco track, and MCB, The Time Is Right. That's MCB, who were formed out of the remnants of Cameo, and it's a really great song. The original LP, really expensive, but this one, I think it's lovely. This compilation, I saw it in a shop today for £5. Absolutely fantastic. In the late 90s, there were a lot of French compilations, often with quite dodgy cover work. This is the Smoocher on Big Cheese Records. Got some great tunes on it though. Bobby Patterson, I Get My Groove From You. not too bad. Sunshine Holiday by Carolyn Franklin. Kelly Patterson, I'm Gonna Love You Just a Little Bit More. Yeah, Got My Second Wind, Al Johnson, Greg Perry, Come On Down. Great stuff. Get all of the originals of those, it will set you back a fair wedge. Just for the lady, ooh, goodness me, that cover, I really, it's a bit of a stretch, but this is a nice compilation. It's actually a series. There are a second volume and a third volume. All really good, increasingly more sober, the artwork I see, but some great stuff on here. Not so many rarities as much, but really good stuff, and will save you a lot of cash, because a lot of them are off albums where maybe there's 1 or 2 tracks on the album, but the album's not that great. But it's got some good stuff. Ooh, Keep the Train Moving by Don Thomas. What a tune that is. Blues Busters, Baby I'm Sorry, Jamaican Soul, lovely. Really, really good. Some John Lucian there. What you got here? 1619 Badass Band again. Al Wilson, really nice. Hugh Masekela, I'll Make You Feel Alright. That's a great tune. Michael Henderson, Let Love Enter, brilliant. Free Life, yeah. Aquarian Dream, Leroy Hudson. Absolute classic stuff, so really recommend those for the ladies. Here's a nice one, and this is actually quite expensive now, this compilation, because it's got some really, really rare tracks on it. The Essential Mellow Groove, it's called. Now it says it's all official and they check the copyright and everything, but it looks a bit unofficial. I remember getting this late 90s when I was working in the West End, and it had been in the shop for ages. You can see it faded at the top, but wow, what an education. The tunes on here are fantastic. Frankie Beverly and before Maze, While I'm Alone. I've been trying the chance. I managed to get the 45s of those, but then you've got some really rare ones like Aged in Harmony, Trust Me, Rare Groove Classic, that is. And great sort of sought after funk numbers like Tawana and the Total Destruction, Wear Your Natural Baby. Really great compilation, that one. Sadly, tends to be a bit pricey these days. Should we put a sample off that one? Nah, I don't think so. Here's a nice one as well. Original Rare Grooves, a bit more on the funky side. Great stuff on here. Star-Crossed, sort of jazz funk group. The song Flow, really nice there. West Coast Revival, My Mind Is at Ease, Rare Groove classic. New Band, Free Your Mind, fantastic. Les DeMille, the drummer, oh, fantastic, this one. Since I Met You by Steam Heat, absolutely great. It just keeps coming. Soul Selections, another great series. This first volume has got some absolute bangers on it. Not least, Sir John Roberts, Do You Believe in Fate? Now the LP that's from, which for my mind is pretty much a 1-track LP, is a 3-figure album, and I've seen it about for 100, sometimes even £200. But here you can get the 1 track you want off here, Do You Believe in Fate, which is so fantastic. I'm going to put a needle drop of it. For many years I thought Sir John Roberts had a very, very, very high falsetto voice, until I actually worked out that it's not him singing, but it's actually Sandra Fever singing. But yeah, this is a great, great compilation. You can get this for a tenner. It's even got Remember to Remember by Rick Holmes, lovely Roy Ayers tune. Brilliant stuff. Have a taste of Sir John Roberts. And yeah, this is the second volume, which is equally fantastic, I think, probably because you've got Lovely Lady by Vernon Birch, nice tune there. You're So Right for Me, Eastside Connection, always like that one. Even got some Donna McGee. But it's got the song Nightlife by Blair, which I saw in a shop the other day, the original LP for 200 quid. And I think there are some bootleg 12 inches and things of that song, which are really expensive as well. This, which sounds really nice, is an album which will probably cost you £10 or less, and it has that tune, Nightlife by Blair. I'll put a sample on if you don't know it. It's absolutely fantastic. Just a couple more to show. I think I'm starting to ramble a bit, but this was another nice series, Blessed Blackness, volumes 1 and 2. Yeah, the second coming. There we go. Some great stuff on here. Alice Babs, the Swedish jazz album that I showed the other day. That tune's on here, and a few other nice ones. This one's really good. This has got it's Love So Strong by the Love Lights. Really good. Karen Jones, Ready Ready Love. And some really nice stuff here by Tom Scott with the California Dreamers, Blues for Harry, Dave Pike, Cat and Latin. Really good mix of soul, jazz, Latin, funk on those ones. Really interesting compilations. And finally, this one, which is probably the dodgiest looking of all of them, because it's a breakbeat album rather than a soul compilation. All those others are focusing on the tracks. This one's got snippets and it's more for sampling, but it's got some great soul tunes on it as well. And real rarities which you just won't find anywhere, such as Antoinette by Ike White. If you know the story of Ike White, fantastic story, his album recorded in prison. That tune, Antoinette, is an instrumental, but it's fantastic. Also, you've got here Love Song by Joe Cruz, who was a hotel singer in a band in the Philippines in the 70s. And the original records of that cost an absolute fortune. But I'll leave you with a taste of Love Song by Joe Cruz. I think it's Joe Cruz and the Cruzettes or something like that. What a tune. Absolutely hairs on the back of your neck stuff. Compilations, it's the way ahead, because there's stuff there you just won't find anywhere else. Anyway, until next time, hope everybody's well. All the best.